Hey guys, this is Abhishek from gadgetsnews.com, and today we are going to do the full review of the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra. We have the device with us. Again, we do not have the package with us. You can go and see the unboxing video in case you want to from the web. You will see a lot of them. I'm going to do a full review of this device. I have been using this device for like more than a week now, and in this review I'm going to highlight all the things related to the device which are going to matter to you, including the display, the camera quality, the battery performance, gaming, benchmarks, and all of the things which you might be looking for. So taking a look over the device, first of all I would like to tell you that the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra is the second phablet device after the Z Ultra, which was a device from Sony which did not sell very well because it was a very premium device. I would say in terms of the price it was very costly, whereas the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra is actually a kind of a device which has the same display size, a 6-inch display like the Z Ultra, and this device is actually cheaper in terms of the price. And again, it does have little bit lower hardware, I would say, but as per the price at which it is being offered, I would say it is a good value for money. And again, I'm going to tell you more in this review. Let's start the review. First of all, talking about the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra, I would like to say that this is one of the device, especially in the phablet category, in case you are looking for, this is one of the best device you can actually buy. Any other device in the market which come very closer to the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra is the HTC Desire 816, which is kind of a closest competitor to this one. We have done a comparison of the HTC Desire 816 as well. We have the device as of now with us, as you can see, and if you compare both of these devices side by side, you can notice that the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra is actually bigger in terms of the height as well as in terms of the width. It is bigger, so it is wider as well as it is having a more height as compared to the HTC Desire 816. And this is because of the difference that the Desire 816, which is approximately available for a price of 23 to 24,000 rupees, for the same price the T2 Ultra is available in the market. This device will give you a 5.5-inch display, whereas on this device you will get a 6-inch display, which is definitely a plus point for the T2 Ultra if you compare both of these two devices. And I have the same wallpaper on these two phones. You can actually take a closer look on both of them, and you can see that the display is good enough on both of them. You can have pretty good viewing angles. Again, the color reduction is something which is slightly better on the HTC Desire 816, but T2 Ultra is not bad as well. In terms of the form factor, the T2 Ultra is going to be a bigger device, slightly heavier as compared to the HTC Desire 816 in case you are comparing, but the kind of material which has been used on both of these phones, the kind of build quality they have, they're almost the same. But again, you will get a better grip on the HTC Desire 816, so you can actually see more as far as comparison points of the HTC Desire 816 and the T2 Ultra in the separate video which we have done. Let's take a look over the T2 Ultra closer. So if we take a look over the back side, we have the loudspeaker on this device at the back side, which is again not a very great design, I would say, because if you hold the device like this, especially in case you're watching a movie, these loudspeaker will actually get covered at times and it might get blocked. You have the Sony branding over here, you have NFC support over here, 13 megapixel camera which can record high definition video as well. You have LED flashlight over here. On this side you have the 3.5 audio jack. You have a flap over here which will open up and will give you the access to the SIM cards. You have two SIM cards supported. It is a dual SIM device. Both of them will be a micro SIM, not a normal size SIM card. Over here you have the power and sleep key, a plastic button for the volume rocker, which is a small button but gives you good amount of feedback. You also have a dedicated camera shutter key, which is always a welcome thing. And same thing is not there on the HTC Desire 816. You do not have a dedicated camera shutter key. On this side at the bottom we have nothing. We do have plastic and glass which is being used on the edges as well as on the front, which again makes the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra quite premium in terms of the look. If we take a look over the front, we can see the Sony branding over here, the earpiece over here. The front camera is 1.1 megapixel camera. It can record high definition video as well. It is a fixed focus camera. On the bottom you have the the microphone over here, and then you have the touch capacitor buttons which are there within the body of the phone, not within the body, but within the display of the phone. And again, this device in terms of the overall form factor is slightly bigger to hold in one hand. It is not a device which you can actually use with one hand. One-handed usage is going to be very limited, and it might be difficult for you as well to actually hold this device in one hand at times, and it might slip out of your hand because of the glossy back cover, which is a fingerprint magnet. You can easily actually see a lot of fingerprints already on this device, and on the front as well it is also a fingerprint magnet. So this is something which is kind of annoying for this device, but again, this is how it is. Talking about the physical dimensions of this phone, I would like to say that this phone has a thickness of approximately 7.7 millimeter, which is again making this device kind of thin, not very thin but still good enough for a phablet of this kind of display size and form factor. Talking about the weight, we have 172 gram of weight on this device, which is again not going to make this device very heavy, but still okay, I would say, not high, not bad as well in terms of the weight department. So taking a look over the display, we can say that we have a 6-inch IPS LCD display, which is a capacitive touchscreen display, and it has a display resolution of 720 x 1280. 720 x 1280 seems like a smaller display resolution for a 6-inch display, but again, you will not notice a pixelation on this device. Even if you take a closer look, you will not notice any kind of pixelation. Unless you read a document with large amount of text, you will not notice any pixelation on this device on the display. Now talking about the overall build quality, the build quality is again not too great, I would say, but still the glass is being used at the front, whereas the back is actually made up of glossy plastic, which is again not going to make this device look bad in terms of build quality. It is average, I would say. And again, even if you drop this device from waist height, it is quite okay to resist that drop. But if you do it multiple times, if you accidentally drop it from shoulder height, it will definitely break. The front display does not have any kind of protection as far as the front is concerned, and it is not a waterproof, or you can say dust proof or water resistant device. It is a simple device. In case water goes inside this device, it will stop working. It is not like Sony Xperia Z1 or Z2, which can actually resist water, whereas this one cannot resist water. Now taking a look over the home screen, as you can see, we have like couple of home screen. You can always increase and decrease these home screen. You have a Sony Xperia UI, which is running on top of Android, which does give you a lot of options like different widgets, application, wallpapers and themes. You can customize the look and feel of this phone with the kind of profile you have. You can actually customize everything. These are the applications which you will get pre-installed. You get a large number of pre-installed applications on this device, which includes Sketch, some application from Sony, some application from Google. So you have a lot of things which are coming pre-installed. Let's take a look over the settings as of now. And taking a look over the settings, let me just show you the version of Android. The version of Android which is running on this device is Android 4.3, whereas on the HTC Desire 816 you get Android 4.4 KitKat preloaded, which is definitely a better thing, I would say, in comparison to this one. And if we take a look over the storage scenario, you have 8 GB of internal storage, out of which approximately 4.68 GB is available to the user, and which is again not too great, but still this device does have a micro SD memory card slot as well, but you cannot install applications on the micro SD memory card. Taking a look over the RAM scenario, you have 1 GB of RAM on this device, and out of 1 GB of RAM, approximately 259 MB of RAM is going to be available to you with idle scenario, which is again not too high, but the device is responsive and I do not face any kind of lag. You do have support for NFC. Android Beam is also there. You can actually push data through Android Beam. You do have support for wireless and tethering hotspot as well. You do have support for USB tethering as well, and you can create a portable Wi-Fi hotspot. You do have support for Bluetooth tethering as well on this device. You also have additional options for power management, so you can control the overall battery backup on this device. You can get more battery backup in case you would like to enable any of these battery saving modes. You do have power management, which is part of the settings on this device, which is definitely going to help you and give you more battery backup at times. Now taking a look over the display brightness, we can show you that we do have support for automatic brightness as well on this device, and again you do have additional modes as well. You also have a glove mode in case you would like to use the display on this device with gloves on, so the display becomes more sensitive, and it has got triluminous display, so the viewing angles of this display are also going to be decent. They are not too great, I would say, considering the kind of display it has. It is not a very decent display, especially if you take a look over the display from extreme angles, but still better than the other phones out there. If you compare it with the HTC Desire 816, the viewing angles on HTC Desire 816 are actually better than this one, and the color production is also slightly better on HTC Desire 816 as compared to the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra which we have with us. From the lock screen itself, you have the option of swiping it to unlock, or you can launch the camera directly. You do have the option of additional widgets which you can add over here on the lock screen itself, which is definitely going to help you, and you can actually do a lot of things quickly from the lock screen itself on this device, which is definitely good. And you do have some additional applications as well which you can always run in the pop-up mode. And again, this is going to help you especially to utilize the UI on this device to do a lot of things quicker. In small pop-up window you can play a video, in small pop-up window you can do a calculation. You do have all those things supported on this device. The touch capacitive buttons are actually there within the display, so they will take some part of the screen resolution, but again it is not that much. If we take a look over the application which can actually run in the pop-up window, you do have a browser, an editor, you have a timer over here which you can run. So all these things can actually run inside the small pop-up window. You can record a voice as well like this in small pop-up window, and again all these applications are definitely going to help you a lot. You do have other applications as well which can run in the pop-up window. Google Chrome can also run in the pop-up window. So in case you want to open a web page and you want to visit that web page, you can always do that even when you have the other screen at your disposal, and then you can do multiple things at once using these pop-up windows, which you can always resize in case you want to, and you can close them. Touchscreen of the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra is also pretty responsive. It is responsive to the finger touch. It is almost an instant touch response which you will get. There is no problem as far as touchscreen sensitivity is concerned. You do have LED notification light as well on this device over here, which will light up for missed call, for alerts, and for low battery as well. It will light up. Let's take a look over the camera performance of this device, and we do have a camera UI, the same camera UI which you see on Xperia Z2. You have the same camera UI with all the options available on this device as well. This device on the other hand has a 13 megapixel camera at the back with LED flash, and you can record high definition videos at 720p as well as at 1080p. From the front camera, which is a 1.1 megapixel fixed focus camera, you can record high definition video at 720p. And this is how the camera UI look like. I'm going to take two photos of my iPhone 5, one with light, one without artificial light. Let me just take the first photo. So we have taken the first photo, and let me just take the second photo now. And again we are taking this one right now without the artificial light, and I'm going to compare both of these one by one. So here we have the first one, or the second one basically. So this is the first one, which has been taken with artificial light, and this one looks good. Again, I would say the kind of brightness I was expecting is not that much. Even when you have a good amount of light falling on the subject, it is not a very clear photo in terms of brightness, I would say. And you can say the details are also okay, but not that great. And in case I want to compare it with the one which has been taken without the light, this one is looking slightly better, I would say, in terms of details. But again, the kind of brightness I see on both of these two photos is not that great. But again, the display on this device is also not that great in terms of the color protection. That is something I have noticed over time when I have been using this device. So again, the camera is okay in terms of performance. The low light performance in terms of details is good, but the color protection is something which is not too great. And the brightness level, especially in case you are capturing a photo with artificial light, is not going to be that great, which you might expect with the 13 megapixel camera on this device. Taking a look over the other specification, let me just show you the front camera as well. So let's launch the camera and let me just show you the front camera. So this is how the front camera UI will look like, and the front camera is capable of doing a high definition video chat. It is going to be decent quality of video chat without any kind of haziness, which you can actually do from this device. As far as rear camera is concerned, you do have additional modes like picture effect, sweep panorama. You do have HDR mode, time burst mode is also there. Background defocus you can actually do. This is a new feature which they have added. Basically, in case you want to take a photo and then you want to make that photo in focus later on, and then everything else should be in blur in the background, you can do that. So you just need to tap on the subject which you want to take, and then everything else can actually get blurred. This is how the background defocus will work. So it will actually take two photos, merge them together, and then you can actually in case you have a proper contrast in between two objects over there, you can actually make one of them in focus and another one is going to be in blur. So this is how the phone dialer look like. Again, the phone dialer does not give you the option of making a video call, and again, even if you type a number, you do not have the option of making a video call on this device. The phone dialer is not stock Android, it is a custom phone dialer, but again, you do not get video call option within the phone dialer on this device. Let's take a look over the messaging application. Messaging application again is not the stock one, it is a customized messaging application. You do have this keyboard which has the keys which are pretty big in size. A QWERTY keyboard is there, and you do have continuous support input as well, so you can do swipe to type on this device without any issues. Typing is not going to be an issue on this device. Even in case you are typing like this, you will not face any problem because the keys are pretty big in size. On this 6-inch display, you will not face any kind of typing problem, and you also have support for continuous input, which is again going to make typing much more fun on this device. Taking a look of the hardware configuration, I can show you the system details for this device. We have got the ARM V7 processor clocked at 1.4 GHz on this device. It is a quad-core CPU and it is Qualcomm MSM8226. And when it comes to the model number of this device is D5322. And if we take a look over the display resolution, we have a display resolution of 720 into 1208. It is not 1280 because the touch capacitive curtains are actually taking some part of the screen resolution. When it comes to the GPU, you have Adreno 305 GPU on this device. And when we talk about sensors, you have almost all the sensors which you will need in a smartphone like this. You have accelerometer sensor, magnetic field sensor is also there, gyroscope is there, you have uncalibrated sensors as well. Of the same sensor, you have the uncalibrated sensor as well, so you can calibrate it, use it properly. You have acceleration sensor, rotation, significant motion detector sensor. You have a motion detector sensor, that means you can actually track your workout as well. In case you want to track your steps count, you can do that with this phone. You do have a motion sensor as well on this device, which can be used by certain applications out there. You have a pedometer sensor as well, which is again going to be used by certain applications out there. So you can actually track your daily schedule when it comes to wherever you are going. You can track your steps, you can track the calories burned. You have all the sensors which you will need for all these applications, which is again going to be a good thing for this device because there is an extensive list of sensors which is going to make this device much more functional and multifunctional, I would say, in comparison to the other devices which we have in the market for the same price. The scores which we have got on Quadrant is 9604, and you can see where this device actually ranks. So it is above HTC One X and Asus Transformer Prime in terms of the ranking. And here we have the detailed score for the CPU. It is 37628, memory is 3585, input output operation is 4068, 2D is 495 and 3D is 2242. The score which we have got on NT2 is 19819, and we can show you the detailed score as well. This is how the detailed score look like for the UX, RAM, CPU, GPU and input and output operation. And again, I would like to say that the score which we have got for CPU, integer and floating point operation is quite good, I would say. The score which we have got on Ninamark is 57.4 FPS, which is one of the best score which we can get. And again, the kind of GPU it has, the kind of hardware configuration it has, it can run almost any kind of graphic intensive game. You can play high definition games as well on this device without any issues. You can also play high definition videos at 720p as well as at 100p without any problem on this device. So in terms of gaming, performance and graphics, it is a pretty decent device and there is no problem with this device in this department. So now we are playing this high definition video from our channel, as you can see, and this video is getting played at high definition quality as well, which is good. As far as viewing angles are concerned, viewing angles are pretty okay on this device, not too great but not bad as well. You can watch the display from extreme angles without any issues. As far as the loudspeaker is concerned, let me just increase the volume to full. So the overall sound which comes out from the loudspeaker is again okay, not too loud. HTC Desire 816 actually gives you a louder sound as compared to this one, but again the loudspeaker is actually at the back side, so if it will get blocked when you place the device like this on a table, which is definitely going to be a problem, and you might accidentally block the loudspeaker on this device with your hand as well, because the loudspeaker is actually at the back side, and the sound will get muffled at times in case you block the loudspeaker accidentally, or in case you place the device like this on a table. The loudness of sound is not very high, but still it is decent, but not very high in terms of the volume which you might expect from a phablet like this. Now let's check for the OTG support on this device. I think it should support OTG. However, you do have micro SD memory card slot on this device to expand the storage, but you cannot install applications on the micro SD memory card. And again, the inbuilt storage is approximately. Now let's check the OTG support on this device, as this device has limited storage of approximately 8 GB, out of which approximately 5 GB is available, and in case you ran out of that storage, you do have a micro SD memory card slot as well, but you cannot install applications on the micro SD memory card. So let's see whether this supports OTG or not, and for this let me just connect a flash drive over here, and this is an OTG flash drive, so we will see whether this device detects the same or not. So it has detected the same as of now, and you can see that the OTG is supported on this device. It has detected the same. That means we can open this USB storage drive in a file manager. When it comes to the file manager, you do have a file manager on this device. You can always install third-party file managers as well, and you can access the contents of the flash drive with the help of OTG functionality, which is supported on this device. GPS navigation is also supported on this device, and for this you just need to go to location services under settings, and under location services you just need to enable these three options, which include access to your location, GPS satellite option, and Google location services. And again, once you enable these three options, you can use this device for GPS navigation without any issues. It does have a magnetic field sensor as well, so it will give you precise GPS navigation data, and I have used this device for GPS navigation during my 1 week of usage, and it did not give any problem to me at that time. So that's all from us as far as the full review of the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra. We really like this device in terms of the overall form factor, the kind of display you get for this price. It is pretty good value for money in this particular department. You have a decent camera as well, although the camera could have been better. You also have a secondary microphone for noise cancellation and video chat. The primary microphone is actually over here, and again this device does the noise cancellation when it comes to video recording. You can record high definition video from the rear camera as well as from the front camera. You can record high definition video. The gaming performance of this device is also pretty decent. You have a bigger display size. The only device which comes closer to this device in terms of specifications and performance is the HTC Desire 816, which is slightly a better device, I would say, but that one has a smaller display if you compare it with this one. So in case you want a phablet of 6-inch, which should be good enough to hold in one hand, it is again not too great in terms of the one-handed usage or the grip. The HTC Desire 816 is actually better, but still it is good enough to be used in for multimedia usage basically. And again, when we talk about the overall form factor, the device weight is approximately 172 gram, which is again not too high but slightly heavier, I would say. You will get used to the weight once you start using this device, but considering the display it has, the kind of gaming performance it has, the kind of camera you get, and the overall hardware specs you get for the price you will pay for it, approximately 23 to 22,000 rupees you will have to pay for this device. It is a good value for money in our own perspective. Do let me know if you have any specific question for the Sony Xperia T2 Ultra. I would love to help you. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.